everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today I have a bit of a wrap up from our Instagram TV series we've been doing on Tonic Studios USA. If you don't already follow us over on Instagram, hop on over, search for Tonic Studios USA and do give us a follow because I upload regular Instagram TV videos. They're a few minutes long but they contain some top tips, and recently I've been focusing on some questions we had about Nuvo Drops. So I have every type of Nuvo drop here. And I also have a download that we've created for you that you can fill in as a reference guide in your craft rooms and have in your crafty space or in your supply box, however you craft. So we're going to fill that in together, and then I'm going to share some of those other top tips that I had for you as well. So you have each of the 6 different kinds. So let's start off with crystal drops. So these come in a beautiful rainbow of colours, and you're probably most familiar with these. They dry glossy and they're also opaque. So the first thing that I always say is that I squeeze a little bit out on my hand or on my craft mat, my glass mat, whatever I'm working on. As though you are kind of icing a cake is the way you want to think of this. And the reason I do that is so that any air that's in that nozzle comes out and I don't get any splutters on my work surface. And the other tips I gave out were in regards to getting peaks. So as we fill in these jewel drops, which have a lovely colour to them, but they also are translucent, they add a really delicate amount of colour, is when you're doing the Nuvo drops, you want to keep your nozzle off the surface. Now I'm a lefty, so it's a little bit hard for me to show you, but it's maybe a couple of millimetres, 1/8 of an inch off of my surface. I squeeze until I have the Nuvo drop size I want, and I lift. Squeeze and lift. So you don't want to touch the surface. When I want a larger drop like this one, I'm just going to squeeze for a little bit longer till it gets the size I want. And then I'm going to flick up. Now, some of you have said you cannot get rid of those flicks. Part of that can be down to the humidity, but some of it is sometimes also due to the temperature of the drop inside the bottle. So before I go with my Nuvo drops, and typically, unless I'm doing a video, I craft, and then I do my Nuvo drops right at the very end so I can walk away and allow them to dry. And the reason I do that is because you don't really want to accelerate that drying process any more than you have to. And so before I put my Nuvo drops on, maybe 10-15 minutes before I do that, I pop this either in the pocket of my apron if I'm crafting with my apron on, or if I'm wearing jeans, I'll pop this in my jeans pocket. It's not going to leak, but what it does is it brings your Nuvo drops up to a nice warm temperature, and then you're going to get less flicks on top. You can also give your paper a tap from the top or the bottom. That sometimes will settle them out. But these had big flicks on them and they've already gone away. Do not try to accelerate the drying process. If you were to put a heat gun on these, and particularly the larger the drop, the worse that effect's going to be, is it forms a skin on the edge of your drop and then it kind of dips in as it dries. So you're not going to get that nice rounded drop. The other thing is if you put it on a radiator, if you're in Europe or in England, I used to have the radiators that had the grills over the top, and you could put these on there, but again, sometimes if that radiator was too hot, I'd have that same issue. So if you have a cooler radiator or one that's full of air, that's where you want to dry your Nuvo drops, or just pop them on the windowsill. Assume your window isn't too damp. But my top tip really is to craft for as long as you can. Pop all your cards out in an area that's, whether it's in the kitchen or whatever, and leave them to dry overnight or for a couple of hours when you go to work. Glitter drops and glitter accents have beautiful colours to them. These are a little bit more translucent in the glitter drops, so you can see here. They are a little bit thicker, the ones with glitter in, just because I think that glitter in there kind of makes it a little bit thicker. And then you have the glitter accents, which are completely coloured. There's no translucency to them really at all. Again, they come in a different shaped bottle. So these are the triangular, larger bottles. Squeeze off to the side. And these come in a really nice range of festive colours. And the one thing you will find with these is if you put a point on them like this, that point is going to stay there. So how do you get rid of that point if you cannot? If it doesn't do it in the drying process? Well, what I do before it starts to dry is I just take my craft pick like this. I grab that point and I pull it down and around my drop until I can pull my craft pick away. Like so. Take my point, wrap it down, take my point, wrap it down. And so that way I have a much more rounded piece there, and it's not going to dry pointy. Sometimes you might want it to dry pointy. You can do some really fun techniques. We also have our glow drops. So these ones glow in the dark. They come in 4 different colours. They come in pink, in green, in yellow, and in blue, and they work exactly the same as your crystal drops or your jewel drops. They're the same kind of nice liquid, but what's going to happen is when the lights go out, these are going to glow in the dark, so you can do some really fun things for Halloween and for kids and whatnot. And I have a really fun video coming up of showing you how to layer up your Nuvo drops. Now these are the newest ones. These are vintage drops. They come in this Art Deco style bottle, and they again are completely opaque, but they dry matte. So again, same technique, about 1/8 of an inch above your surface, squeeze to the size you want, pull away. And you can make them as big or as small as you want them to be. So you can see there. And now I have a really handy quick reference guide. Here's one that I did on my Instagram stories the other day. So you can see I just keep this now near me. You could pop it in a frame. Maybe if you have a little area you keep your things. You could put it on a book ring if you have other swatches and things. This is one of those handy guides. You can print it on cardstock paper, whatever you prefer. Now, the other options you have are in regards to, you can also make your Nuvo drops almost an instant dry. And the way we do that is using a ball tool. So I have the Tonic Flower Stylus Kit, and all the links will be in the description below for you. And I will give you a direct link to that download as well. You just check down here in that description. But what you can do is make any size of Nuvo drop you like. Let's take that purple again. I'm going to squeeze a little bit more onto my glass mat. And I'm taking my stylus, I'm dipping it in, and you can make whatever size of drop you would like. So you still get that pop of colour. You don't get all the dimension you would get by squeezing it out, but these are going to dry in a minute or so. They're going to be super quick drying. You can also dry them with a heat gun because there's nothing to dip inwards. And so you can add as much colour as you need to, and you can go up in different sizes. So I could take the larger ball here and I could dip that in, and I can make myself a larger dot of colour. These are also great if you are popping something through the mail, because you can again still add that colour, but you still get that quick dry, and you still have that kind of accent that you're looking for as well. So another awesome way, and if you're doing classes and things, this is a great way to play with Nuvo drops, because you can just do them, they'll dry in class, and you haven't got to worry about people going home and squishing them and getting wet and then they get upset. So this is a really great demonstration if you teach classes, or if you're in class and people are using Nuvo drops, grab a ball tool and do this. I learnt this at a Ranger event with Wendy Becky a couple of weeks ago, and I just loved it, and I've been using it tons ever since. Now, a few other tips that I shared were how to make your own candy dots. I also put a video up of creating backgrounds with Nuvo drops and your glass mat. And again, that link will be in that top right hand corner right now. So I'm just going to tear off a little bit. This is freezer paper. You can also use wax paper. Parchment paper doesn't work quite so well, but your freezer paper works fine. Just the stuff you buy in the grocery store, and take off a little bit. Pop it onto your work surface, and then you can make your own candy dots. So all you do, and if you put some gridded paper underneath and a bright light, you can even see the grids from your glass mat underneath, or you could use some maths gridded paper. But what I can do is I can squeeze out lots and lots of Nuvo drops in any size, so I can keep them fairly consistent. I can do small ones, and I can do really large ones. So I can do whatever size I'd like to do. These are going to dry, and then they will just pop straight off of here whenever I want to use them. I put them on the glossy side, not the matte side. If you put the matte side, this will not work. You want it on that glossy side, which is the non-stick. And once these are dry, I can then add a glue dot or a drop of my deluxe adhesive on the bottom, and I've made my own candy dots, and I can make them in any colour of Nuvo drops, glitter accents, jewel drops, glow drops. I can make them in any combination I'd like. I can even stack colours and make fun shapes, which we have in an upcoming video for you. So lots and lots of different things that you can do with these. I absolutely love the versatility of Nuvo drops and the fact that I can do this. Now I can make this solution even easier for you. If you grab yourself a roll of glue dots. So if you've never seen glue dots before, it's exactly what it says on the tin. And they are just little drops of glue that you can pop on the back of candy drops. And they're great for the back of sequins and things. And they come in various sizes. But what you can do, and I'm going to grab my vintage drops for this one, is I can, over the top of each droplet of glue, it might be a little bit harder for you to see on this top down view, but on each droplet of glue, I'm just adding a Nuvo drop on top. And by adding a Nuvo drop on top of that glue, when my Nuvo drop dries, and dries even, and what I do is I just put a little bit of masking tape top and bottom on my strips, you already have your glue embedded in your candy dots. So I will have these beautiful teal blue candy dots. They'll be fully dry. I don't have to wait for them to dry. I can play around with where I want to put them, and they already have my adhesive on, and they're going to stick instantly. No waiting for any glue to dry. And glue dots cure as well. So once they're on your card overnight, they're going to cure and go super, super solid. So there's so many different things you can see here that you can do with Nuvo Drops. As I mentioned, we have got more videos coming on how to stack different colours and make fun shapes. So I'm looking forward to showing you those. But this is really how you can stretch your supplies in so many different ways. And do check out this download as well, because I think it's a really fun thing to have in your room. And I love little downloads like that. I have loads of them all over the place. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Don't forget to check out those links in the description. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notifications of future tips videos. And don't forget to follow us over on Instagram at the Hedgehog Hollow and at Tonic Studio, so that you can find out all of our Instagram TV videos as they come live. And of course, we hope that you enjoyed this video, so do give us a thumbs up if you learned something as well. We'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping. Bye.